Today I will be talking about the Windows Server 2019, Ubuntu, Windows Firewall, and IP tables in my presentation. First, I'm going to talk about Windows Server 2019. Windows Server 2019 is the ninth version of the Windows Server operating system, and some of its features are virtual machines improvements, faster and safer web because it improved the connections, security with software-defined networking, and improvements also in the storage. Some of the general improvements, such as desktop, for example, it provides the user an option of server core or server desktop installations. Windows Admin Center is a browser-based app and is ready to deploy. Also, System Insight, which is a predictive analytics feature that analyzes usage trends to predict future consumptions. In application platforms, it allows you to run Windows and Linux. So that's like a really important thing. Then our hybrid cloud. Um, Hybrid cloud, yeah, because the server incorporate hybrid capabilities to the admin center, and it actually supports Kubernetes, which ensures higher integrated identity and better um, compatibility. So for hardening, I have first disabled the signature. A common way to attackers to attack is by sending a remote quest that will pull back value information. So by disabling the signature, it will prevent um, this, of course. The attacker pulling back information from you, and disabling the HTTP trace and track request. Attackers use and manipulate the trace and track methods to intercept traffic connections. So disabling this could be a really good idea for hardening the server as well. And then restrict IP access. It can be configured to only allow specific IP addresses, which will enhance the security. Now, Ubuntu is the most popular open source desktop operating system. So first, with the appearance, it has more variants of the default. It brings fractional scaling, for example, like with the icons, if they're too small or too big because they just have like 100%, and then they had go to 200%. Now you can use the fractional scaling, so it could work better. And also now you can get rid of the dog because there's a lot of people who doesn't like that, so you can just get rid of it if you don't like it. Then for theme, you can choose between light, dark, or standard. And the Ubuntu has the latest NUM release, the 3.36. This means that all the new features that are in 3.36 are also available for this Ubuntu, so that's really good. Also, Ubuntu features the Linux kernel 5.4, and yeah. So for hardening Ubuntu, keep first of all keep systems up to date. Is really important to always make sure that the systems is always kept up to date. This will keep any known vulnerabilities or bugs patch. Disable empty passwords. No user should be able to log in with an empty password. This will add a good layer of security if there is a user without password. Then allow specific users, so like ensure only root have the highest access to the system. Then sudo configuration for the limit and of use and access. And then really important, IP tables implementation. IP tables are really powerful in controlling the network traffic going into and out of the server. So implementing the IP tables, I think it's really, really useful. Then we have Windows Firewall. Windows Firewall is a stateful firewall that is installed by default in the modern versions of Windows. Windows Firewall was introduced in Windows XP as an inbound only. Now it blocks both inbound and outbound traffic. The firewall can be managed by group policy or remotely. It is used to protect network-based threats, so you can configure the firewall settings and have control on who has access to your system. The firewall and networking settings will depend on the location. So home, the computers are connected to the home network, or work connected and the computers are connected to a work group. Public, which will have the most secure firewall settings because it will be connected. There are like locations that are not trusted, so their connections are not trusted, of course. So that's why it has the most secure firewall settings. And then domain, computers connected to the domain infrastructure. Hardening. For hardening the Windows firewall, build rules. If an application needs a special rule, you should build it, but verify if it's efficient. So always build rules and verify efficiency of the rules. Then identify block applications, set up security monitoring, and always keep the firewall updated. Now we're gonna talk about the IP tables, which we mentioned a little bit before. IP tables are to set up, maintain, and inspect the tables of IP packet filter rules in the Linux kernel. So in the IP tables identifies the packets and then uses a set of rules to decide what to do with them. So first chain is a string of rules. Rules are statements that say what to do with the packet. So the filters are organized in different tables that contain chain of rules for how to manage network traffic packets. So if it does match, it will be given a special value like accept, drop, queue, or return. What to do with the packet that matches is called target. Some of the current independent tables are filter, NAT, mangle, and raw. Filter, this is the default table most frequently used. NAT, consulted when a packet that creates a new connection is encountered. Mangle, used for a specialized packet alteration, and raw, used mainly for configuring exemptions. Then we have the commands. There are many commands. I just listed a bit. The commands are to specify specific actions to perform. So here I listed delete, replace, list, insert, but there are many more. And here I inserted a picture of the IP tables, the independent ones, the filter, NAT, mangle, raw, and the chains, just for like a visual help. And that will be all. Thank you so much.